The summer is coming to its breaking point, and Belly's heart is caught in the middle of a storm. Every look, every word, every choice has been leading to this moment. But when episode 11 arrives, one question will finally demand an answer. Who will Belly choose, Conrad, Jeremiah, or herself? The story so far has been a roller coaster of emotions, and episode 10 left fans holding their breath. Belly's journey has never been simple, but lately, it feels like every step she takes pushes her closer to a decision that could change everything. What makes this so powerful is that it isn't just about romance. It's about identity, growth, and the pain of leaving behind the comfort of childhood. In episode 10, we watched Belly torn between two brothers who represent two very different parts of her heart. On one side is Conrad, the first love, the boy who has always been her summer dream, the one who carries mystery, longing, and heartbreak in his eyes. He's the storm, unpredictable, passionate, and full of secrets he doesn't always know how to share. His moments with Belly are filled with tension that feels both dangerous and comforting. Every time Conrad lets his guard down, even for a second, we see how deep his love for her runs, but he struggles to show it fully. Then there's Jeremiah. If Conrad is the storm, Jeremiah is the sun. He's warm, dependable, and open with his feelings in a way that makes Belly feel safe. He doesn't hide behind walls. Instead, he lets his love shine out in every word and every gesture. In episode 10, we saw Jeremiah fighting to prove that he's not just the safe choice, but the one who can actually give Belly the love she deserves right now. Without games, without hesitation, the beach house has always been more than just a backdrop. It's the place where Belly's summers were born, where she first laughed, first dreamed, first fell in love. But this summer, the house has become a battleground of emotions. The walls carry memories, and every corner seems to whisper the weight of decisions that cannot be undone. In episode 10, the house became a stage for some of the hardest conversations yet. Secrets came to the surface, emotions clashed, and Belly was forced to face just how complicated love can be when family is involved. The tension wasn't only about romance. The family dynamics played a huge part too. The Fisher brothers' bond has been tested like never before. Conrad and Jeremiah both want Belly, but their love for her is now threatening to tear their brotherhood apart. What was once playful rivalry is now something heavier, something painful, and Belly is caught in the middle of it. Every glance between the brothers feels loaded. Every silence feels like it could break them. But Belly herself is changing too. She's no longer the girl who arrived at Cousins Beach full of innocence and daydreams. In episode 10, we saw her realizing that every choice has consequences. Choosing Conrad might mean passion, but also heartbreak. Choosing Jeremiah might mean safety, but also sacrifice. And not choosing either might mean walking away from the only love she has ever known. Each option feels both right and wrong, and that's what makes it so powerful. By the end of episode 10, Belly stood at a crossroads, both literally and emotionally. She's caught between her past and her future, between what her heart wants and what her mind knows she needs. The summer that once felt endless is now running out of time. And so is her chance to make the choice that could define not just her love life, but the person she becomes. The episode closed with that familiar mix of hope and heartbreak, leaving fans desperate for answers. Because the truth is, Belly can't stay in this in-between space forever. She has to decide. And when she does, someone's heart will break. The question is whose? Asterisk episode 11 is set up to be one of the most emotional turning points of the summer. I turned pretty. Everything we've seen in the build-up suggests that this is not just another chapter, it's the moment where choices harden into consequences. In the preview hints at scenes that carry a weight unlike anything we've seen before. The first thing that stands out in the preview is Belly's expression. There's a heaviness in her eyes, a mix of longing and sadness, as though she already knows that no matter what choice she makes, someone she loves is going to be hurt. That look alone tells us this isn't just about romance anymore. It's about responsibility, about growing up, about admitting that love is not always simple. The preview teases moments of honesty from Conrad, something fans have been waiting for all season. We catch glimpses of him standing at a distance, watching Belly with that quiet intensity that has defined his character since the very beginning. There's a shot where he finally seems ready to lay everything out, to drop the walls he's been hiding behind. But here's the question. Is it too late? Can words of love heal the silence of all the times he failed to speak up? Episode the 11th of May finally give us that answer. Meanwhile, Jeremiah is not stepping aside. In fact, the preview makes it clear that he's ready to fight for Belly until the very end. His energy is different from Conrad's. It's brighter, more immediate, but it's also desperate. We see Jeremiah reaching out to Belly, touching her hand, looking at her with eyes that plead for her to see what he's offering. A love that is simple, open, and here right now. But will Belly interpret that as strength? Will it feel like pressure when her heart is still torn? One of the most striking elements of the episode 11 preview is the setting itself. The scenes we glimpse are full of symbolic weight. The ocean waves crashing harder than before. The beach growing quieter, the house slowly emptying of life. Summer is ending, and the backdrop mirrors Belly's journey. Just as the season must end, so must this chapter of indecision. It's almost as if Cousins Beach itself is whispering, "Time is up. Choose." The family dynamics hinted at in the preview are also impossible to ignore. There's tension not just between Belly and the brothers, but between Conrad and Jeremiah themselves. The unspoken anger, the resentment of competing for the same girl, seems ready to burst into the open. Episode 11 may show us whether their bond as brothers is strong enough to survive this triangle, or if Belly's decision will shatter it for good. And then, there's Belly herself. Standing at the center of it all, the preview doesn't give away her answer. But it shows her caught in moments of reflection, staring out at the sea, holding back tears, clutching onto memories that seem too heavy to carry. These small, quiet images are the most powerful because they remind us that this isn't just about who she loves, it's about who she is becoming. She's no longer the girl who thought summer would last forever. She's the young woman who must face the truth that choices define you, and you can't run from them. The preview also seems to hint at a possible farewell scene. There's a sense of finality, as though episode 11 may close one chapter for good. Whether it's Belly walking away from the beach house, Conrad finally saying what's been in his heart, or Jeremiah holding back tears as he realizes what he can't control, the air of goodbye hangs over the cliffs. Fans are left wondering, is this a goodbye to childhood love, to Cousins Beach, or even to one of the brothers as Belly takes her next step? Episode 11 promises intensity, but it also promises clarity. The suspense is not about whether there will be drama that's guaranteed. It's about whether Belly can finally be honest, not just with Conrad or Jeremiah, but with herself. Because in the end, the preview suggests this. The real choice Belly has to make is not just about love, but about identity. Who does she want to be when the summer ends? That's the heartbeat of episode 11. Not just passion, not just heartbreak, but transformation. And the preview tells us one thing with absolute certainty. By the time the credits roll, nothing will ever be the same when we talk about episode 11. Everything points to one unavoidable truth. Belly must finally make her choice. It's a moment that has been building since the very first summer at Cousins Beach. A decision woven into every glance, every whispered confession, and every heartbreak that has shaped her journey. Fans are split into camps: Team Conrad, Team Jeremiah, and even Team Belly herself. And episode 11 may finally give each side their answer. If Belly chooses Conrad, for many viewers, Conrad has always been the heart of Belly's story. He is her first love, the boy she dreamed about long before anyone else noticed her, the one who carried her heart even when he didn't know how to protect it. Choosing Conrad would mean circling back to that first spark, the passion that Belly has never been able to let go of, no matter how many times she tried. But with Conrad comes risk. He is complicated, closed off, and often unsure of how to express himself. Episode 11 might show Conrad finally breaking through those walls, finally speaking his truth at the very moment it could matter most. If Belly chooses him, it won't just be because of history, it will be because Conrad proves that he is ready to fight for her in a way he never has before. This path would be full of passion, but also shadows, because loving Conrad means facing uncertainty. And yet, isn't that what makes first love unforgettable? If Belly chooses Jeremiah, then there's Jeremiah, the boy who has always made her feel safe. With him, love is warm, steady, and free of the storms that Conrad brings. Choosing Jeremiah would mean stepping into a future where Belly is cared for openly, where she doesn't have to question whether she's loved. He has been constant in his devotion. And episode 11 might highlight that constancy as Belly stands on the edge of her decision. But there's another side to Jeremiah's love. It comes with expectations. He wants to be chosen fully, without hesitation, and that's where Belly struggles. If she picks Jeremiah, it means she is ready to leave behind the magnetic pull of Conrad and choose the light instead of the storm. It's the safer option, yes, but sometimes safety is exactly what someone needs. Jeremiah represents the possibility of healing, of moving forward into adulthood with someone who won't let go. If Belly chooses herself, then there's the third possibility, the one many fans whisper about but rarely expect to see. What if Belly doesn't choose either, brother? Episode 11 could be the turning point where she realizes that her journey has never truly been about love triangles at all. It's about becoming herself. Choosing neither Conrad nor Jeremiah would be shocking, but it would also be powerful. It would mean that Belly is ready to walk away from the boys who have defined her summers, and instead define her own future. This possibility is the most painful, but it might also be the most honest. Sometimes the bravest choice is to step back and admit that love can wait, that identity comes first. If Belly chooses herself, it wouldn't just reshape her relationship with Conrad and Jeremiah, would transform the meaning of the entire series, would turn a love story into a coming-of-age story about independence and growth. The fallout of her decision, no matter what choice Belly makes, the aftermath will not be easy. If she picks Conrad, Jeremiah's heart will break, and their brotherly bond may fracture in a way that's hard to repair. If she picks Jeremiah, Conrad will carry the pain of knowing he let his first love slip away. If she chooses herself, both brothers will have to face the reality that Belly isn't the solution to their rivalry. Episode 11 is not just about romance, it's about the cost of love. Someone will leave Cousins Beach wounded, someone will question their worth. And Belly herself will have to live with the weight of knowing that her decision defined not only her summer, but also the lives of the people she loves most. The truth is, Belly's decision is not about who is better, who is stronger, or who is more deserving. It's about who she is when she makes the choice. The girl who arrived at Cousins Beach was young, hopeful, and unsure. The Belly who walks out of episode 11 will be older, braver, and ready to carry the consequences of her heart. That's the beauty of this moment. It isn't just about choosing a boy, it's about choosing a future. And whichever path Belly takes, the summer will never be the same again. When we step back from the love triangle and look at the summer, I turned pretty through a wider lens. Episode 11 is more than just the question of who Belly chooses. It's the symbolic end of a season, not just the summer itself, but the summer of innocence, the summer of childhood, the summer of endless possibility. Every character, every storyline has been pointing to this idea that growing up means saying goodbye even when you don't want to. The themes beneath the story, at its heart, the series is about transformation. Belly entered Cousins Beach as the girl who believed love would solve everything, who believed that summers lasted forever, and that family, friendships, and romance would always stay the same. But reality has a way of reshaping dreams. The illness in the Fisher family, the tension between the brothers, and Belly's own mistakes all remind us that growing up means facing what is hard to face. Episode 11 becomes a mirror for Belly's journey. Her decision between Conrad and Jeremiah is more than romance. It's a symbolic choice between who she was and who she wants to become. Conrad represents passion, memory, the fire of first love. Jeremiah represents safety, warmth, the comfort of a love that doesn't demand guessing. Choosing neither represents the courage to step into independence, to walk away from what's easy and define her life on her own terms. Whichever way the story goes, the theme is the same. Love is never just about who you're with, but who you are when you stand beside them. Symbolism in setting the Cousins Beach house has always been a character in its own right. It's the place where laughter rang through hallways, where children became teenagers, and where teenagers now must step into adulthood. In episode 11, the house feels quieter, heavier. Empty rooms echo with memories, and every corner carries a piece of Belly's childhood. When the preview shows her staring at the ocean, it's more than just a pretty shot. It's a metaphor for choice. The waves are endless, always moving, always shifting, just like life. The tide pulls forward, never back. That image tells us everything. The summer is ending, and the tide will not wait. Belly has to move forward, even if it means leaving something precious behind. The ocean is also symbolic of Belly's heart. It's vast, it's unpredictable, and it's full of depth that even she is still discovering. That's why episode 11 feels so powerful. It's Belly standing on the shore of her own future, deciding whether to dive in, walk away, or let herself be carried by the waves. The cost of growing up, one of the hardest truths in this story, is that no choice comes without loss. If Belly chooses Conrad, she risks breaking Jeremiah's heart. If she chooses Jeremiah, Conrad loses not just a girl, but a piece of the bond that held the brothers together. If she chooses herself, she walks away from both, leaving a gap in a house that once felt like family. Growing up means understanding that love can hurt, that sometimes the right decision still leaves scars. This is why episode 11 feels so final. It's not just about who kisses who, or who walks away. It's about Belly stepping into adulthood by accepting that happiness always comes with sacrifice. That's the bittersweet heart of the show. The realization that love is never simple, and summer cannot last forever. Outro, a promise of change by the time episode 11 ends. Fans will see a new Belly. Whether she's walking hand in hand with Conrad, smiling through tears with Jeremiah, or standing alone with strength in her eyes, she will no longer be the girl caught between two brothers. She will be the young woman who made a choice and faced the truth of it. And that's what makes this episode so special. It's not just about an answer, but about closure. Closure to a summer that shaped her. Closure to a triangle that tested love and family. Closure to the innocence that defined her first steps into romance. But closure isn't the end. It's the beginning of something new. That's the promise the preview leaves us with. That after this summer, nothing will ever be the same again. That's what keeps fans watching. Because whether you're Team Conrad, Team Jeremiah, or Team Belly, we're all waiting for the same thing, the moment when Belly finally takes that step into her future. So as episode 11 approaches, one question remains for you, the audience. Who do you think Belly will choose? Will she return to the storm, embrace the sun, or walk into the waves on her own? Drop your predictions below, because when the summer ends, only one thing is certain. Hearts will break, but Belly's story will finally move forward.